Hello and welcome to the inside of the Cars.co.za studio. I, for a change, am not in a car. I am in our studio in Cape Town, and this is the first time that we have ever broadcast live to YouTube. So welcome. It's very, very cool to be here. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So how this is going to work is, well, you can just ask me anything, really. I've kind of become the agony aunt of motoring in South Africa. People just come to me with their problems. So I'm very, very happy to try and help you. I might not be able to help everyone. I might not be able to help you with everything, but if you are, say, trying to choose between a bunch of different cars, if you just want to chat about some exciting new cars, if your car is making a funny noise, you know, maybe we can help you out today. So all you have to do is use the live chat. I've got it in front of me, and I can see everyone is already saying hello. So hello to all of you. Hi Sedzani, hi Nevashan, hi Yovani, Maloko, how's it going? Tabiso. That name sounds rude. I'm not going to read that one. Okay, cool. Francois, how's it? Mornay, how's it going, guys? Monet, been enjoying your videos about the cars a lot. Thanks very much. So I think let's maybe just give it a couple of minutes for a few more people to join. But what I thought I would do is I would take you through some of the exciting content that we have on the Cars.co.za website and on our YouTube channel. So you may not be familiar with with everything that we do, but down here in the Cape Town office, we are responsible for all of the social media, all of the written articles, all of the photography, and of course all of the video. So right behind me actually is one editing suite. Behind the camera is another editing suite. This is our little studio in the middle. You may have seen our podcast. We also shoot those here as well. So let's quickly take a look at the content that's on Cars.co.za right now. We got an interesting article on how many EVs were sold in South Africa last year. So that's pretty cool. BMW have launched their X1. On the video side of things, one of our filmmakers here, Dita Pay, we gave him the keys to the new Suzuki D-Max, and we said, go and do off-roady things and try not break it too much. So we made a video about that. So if you'd like to see the D-Max doing some 4x4 testing, go check that out. Big news this week, we've got the Haval H6 GT price. Huge amounts of interest in that car. So I'm not going to give it away. Go check it out on Cars.co.za. Lamborghini have launched a 490 kilowatt Urus. I mean, 490 kilowatts. You know, if you're not pushing out 500 kilowatts, you're just wasting your time. I mean, what is that? 490. Poor effort there, Lamborghini. Big new Jeep Cherokee has launched. There's a new, I think, facelifted 3 Series. We got this cool article on 10 fuel-efficient used cars for under 200,000 Rand in South Africa. So go and check that out. Right, that's all over on the Cars.co.za. Wow, lots of questions coming in. Okay, let's get started. Hi, for the first time joining you. Hello, TV. Cool. Siko, how's it? Cherry Tiger 4 Pro. That's cool. That's actually cooler than its real name, which is Tigo. I like it. Let's just call it the Tiger. Tiger 4 Pro or Haval Jolion Super Lux. Wow, it's a good question, eh? Because they're around about the same price. So what would I go with? Look, the Haval is a bit more car for your money. It's quite a bit bigger than the Cherry, than the Cherry 4. The Cherry I like is the 7, and I think it's really good value. So if you can stretch to the 7, I think I'd go for that, but the 4 is well priced. The Haval's probably going to have a little bit more kit in it, a little bit more spec, generally speaking. From driving all of those cars, I feel like the Cherry is a slightly better product. It's a slightly higher quality product, but I mean, that's just sort of, you know, that's like look and feel and the touch points in the car. Look, I don't think you can go too wrong with either of them. They've both got great warranties as well. But basically, for me, it would come down to your practicality. If you need a bigger boot and you need more backseat space, then go for the Haval. Right. John D, how's it? Let's talk about the new released Cherry Tiggo 4 Pro. That's a nice car. It's amazing how much interest there is in this brand. I mean, in less than a year, they have become a top 10 a car seller in this country. It absolutely blows my mind. They've done incredibly well. So I'm not going to take up too much time talking about the Cherry. I just spoke about it a little bit, but we've got a very comprehensive review on the Tiggo 8, the Tiggo 7, and the Tiggo 4, which you can go and check out on our channel. Hopefully that'll help you. We also have Havel Jolly on review and Havel H6 review. We also have written reviews of all of those cars. So tons of information there to help you. But my personal opinion, I would happily drive a Cherry Tiggo 4 around. It's a cool little car. Very good value for money. But keep in mind though, that segment is very competitive, and there's like 10 cars to choose from in that segment. I can't even remember all of them, but there's like Nissan Magnite, Kia Sonet, Urban Cruiser, Vitara Brezza, Honda WRV, Peugeot 2008. The list is endless, really, actually. I can never remember the 10. I just know there's 10. Hi, our agony aunt of motoring. Hello. Right, Shane, need a new car, deciding between a Havel and Cherry. Do you guys buy anything else these days? Like, does anyone like buy like Mercs? I don't know. Everyone just buys Cherries or Havels. Okay, that's the future of South Africa: EVs and Cherries and Havels. Which is better in your opinion, Havel H6 or Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro? So we're just working our way through the Chinese ranges here. That's what we're doing. So unfortunately, I haven't driven the Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro because I bloody had COVID again for the third time. So when it came to our office, so Ash, my colleague Ash Oldfield, our in-house racing driver, he reviewed that car. I didn't even see it. I'm sorry about that, so I can't really pass comment. I did spend a lot of time in the Havel H6. I liked it a lot. It's again a lot of car for your money. For me, again, the pick of the bunch is actually the Tiggo 7, but the Tiggo 7 has quite a small boot, so keep that in mind. Look, I don't think you can go too wrong with either of them. The key difference between the Tiggo 8, of course, and the H6 is that in the Tiggo 8 you get 7 seats, and in the H6 you don't. But also keep in mind that the H6 is about to come out with a hybrid, which is also very, very interesting. So maybe you just want to delay your purchase a little bit till that hybrid becomes available. Because from what we hear, it's a good hybrid. Right, sip of tea, getting thirsty. Morne Smith, what are your views for electrical vehicles in South Africa? I assume you mean electric. You have a few videos which are interesting, but will you do follow-up ones? Look, I mean, we're testing an EV right now. Audi got hold of us and they said, hey, do you want to drive our e-tron GT for 2 months? And we said, hell yes. So we've got that in the garage right now, and we're all getting to grips with it and what it's like to charge. You know, from what I've experienced with multiple EVs, there's a couple of different things to consider, right? So there's like, what is it like to drive? Okay, so it's just, as a commuter car, it's just better. Like, it's better in every way. It's more comfortable, it's quieter, it's easier to drive, it's better in traffic. Once you actually drive an EV and then you go back to an ICE car, it feels like you've traveled back in time. Like, it feels like, I don't know, like you're in a horse and cart or something like that. It's amazing how different they are. So EV as a commuter car, for me, better to drive. I have road tripped in an EV. We drove from Knysna to Cape Town at i4 M50. No problem. It takes a bit longer. You got to stop to charge, obviously, but hey, have a wimpy burger, relax. So you can road trip in EVs in South Africa. Right now, what's killing us is the tax. So 42% of the price of an electric vehicle in South Africa right now is tax. And hilariously, what I've been told, and I've been Googling this, I can't find any evidence of it online, but apparently the only electric vehicles which used to be imported into South Africa back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, were golf carts. And golf carts were seen as luxury items, and so they got a luxury ad valorem tax put on top. And apparently this is the tax that still stands. So we have a golf carts tax holding us back right now. It's like, yeah, Minister of Trade and Industry, if you're listening, can we please get rid of the golf cart tax? It's, you know, we need to progress here. The other way I think EVs really kill ICE cars is on maintenance. You know, a simple EV will require almost no maintenance. The more complicated EVs, you know, your ones with air suspension and stuff, obviously things are going to eventually go wrong. But think about it this way, right? let's say you buy an expensive German SUV that's 5 years old and it's just come out of its warranty. We all know you're in for some pain, right? We just know you're in for some pain at that point. The next few years, you're gonna have to fix and change and repair some things. Think about it if you buy a 5-year-old EV, you know, there's nothing to do, hopefully, you know? I mean, everyone says, okay, when are you going to replace the battery? It seems like the batteries last a lot longer than anyone thought they were going to last. I mean, Tesla batteries seem to be rated to easily 300,000 miles. That's 450,000 kilometers more, actually. So for me, the battery will last the lifetime of the vehicle. I mean, in most use cases, and batteries are getting better all the time. So anyway, you can probably hear I'm quite passionate about EVs. But those are my thoughts, and yes, we will be doing more videos, definitely. Wow, okay, lots of questions coming in here. I lost my place. Where are we? I'm just seeing the word Haval everywhere. Gosh, you guys really like Haval, hey? This is going to be quite complicated to keep up with. Okay, here we go. Let's try. I've found my place again. I would love to ask between Everest models, which one is the best to buy with the best performance? Well, the best performance is the big engine, right? I mean, the 5-cylinder. Do they still put the 5-cylinder in? Actually, I think they don't anymore. I think they discontinued the Everest of the 5-cylinder. I think there's going to be a V6 Everest, though, coming out in the next generation. Look, the 2 liters is fine. You know, if you're concerned a little bit about stressed engines, it is quite a highly stressed engine. It's a twin-turbo 2-liter with 157 kilowatts. But there is the more sort of simple 2.2, which you can choose from. In terms of economy, probably much of a muchness, hey? Depends how you drive. But I wouldn't be too worried about buying the 2-liter or the 2.2. I think that would be my choice. I see Kia is bringing one to South Africa. Yes, the EV6 is coming. And what's cool about the EV6 is it's set up so that you can run your house on the car. So potentially, if you've got load shedding, you can plug your car into your house, run your house with your car. I think that's so cool. I'm so excited about that. Tabang, please make this a regular event if it's once or twice a week. Sure, thanks for the feedback. Hi Chira, I want to trade in my 2012 Mini Countryman, but I have a shortfall of 15K. Is it advisable to carry the 15K into the new car? Yeah, 15K is not a lot. It's going to affect your premiums by, I don't know, depending on the length of your contract, your finance agreements, $100, $50, $100. I mean, if it was 150K, I'd say, okay, you're being maybe financially irresponsible, but 15K is not a big deal. Good day. Should you still buy Audi TT RS? Well, I'm not going to. I don't like them very much, but you can if you want. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cars for me that's sort of neither here nor there. It's just fast. It's a really fast car. Like, it's extremely fast. Like, if you're chasing someone in, like, I don't know, a rear-wheel drive M4 or something up a mountain pass, you're going to be in his boots, you know, in the TTRS. It's just, in the real world, it's just like a stupendously fast car. It's just, personally, they don't do much for me. In terms of whether they'll appreciate or not, I would say probably not. Maybe in the future, maybe they'll sort of go through the cycle where they'll get cheap, and then maybe they'll start picking up again, because when Audi stops making that 5-cylinder engine, maybe they're going to be sought after. In fact, they probably will be. So that's something to consider. John, hi. Please recommend Brezza GL Auto versus Baleno GLX Auto. Look, I mean, they're not direct competitors. You know, your Brezza is like a little mini SUV, and your Baleno is sort of a hatchback. The GLX means that it's better spec'd than the GL. The Baleno, I don't see much downsides to the Baleno, to be honest. It's always been a great car. The Brezza is, they're both Indian-built cars. They're both built in the same place in India. They're built pretty well, in my opinion. I would say if you need the ground clearance, go for the Brezza. Otherwise, you'll probably save a little bit of fuel in the Baleno, and you'll get a bit more spec. So the Brezza might be a bit more practical as well in terms of getting things in and out of the boot, because the boot floor is level with the boot lip, whereas with the Baleno, the boot floor is really far down. So if you struggle to, you know, sort of get things in and out of the boot, you might find the Baleno a little bit impractical. We've got videos on both those cars as well. Go check them out. Will the Cadillac Lyric be coming to SA? Almost certainly not. In fact, no. Cadillac they're gone. They're not here anymore. My favorite SA car guy, shot. Thanks, made my day. Andrea, how about the new Tonale, as we like to call it, the toenail? They should have thought about that. Wonderful, maybe the most beautiful one. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the Italians, Italians are all about aesthetics. I assume since your name is Andrea Schiavinato, that you're a little bit Italian. Just a guess. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna look good. It's gonna probably drive really well. I mean, I think Alfa Romeo make cool cars. They struggle with their brand in this country. So look, I don't think they're going anywhere. Fiat's the mother company. Well, Stellantis now, but between Stellantis, they should be able. I think they'll carve out a business model for themselves here. I wouldn't be too worried about buying one. And at the end of the day, like I always say to people, if you park your car, you turn around to lock it, and you look at it, and it puts a smile on your face, then you bought the right car. Right. Penrick, hi Ciro. Hi Penrick. Nivashan, Ciro, what would you buy between the Toyota Corolla Sedan or Corolla Cross? They're the same car underneath. It's about whether you want an SUV for the ground clearance, or whether SUV maybe a little bit more status. I think that's why people buy SUVs. What's quite nice though is let's say you want a hybrid right now, you'll probably find a sedan hybrid faster than you're going to find a Corolla Cross hybrid, because those are under serious demand. So if you want to buy a car right now, maybe go for the sedan. I drove the sedan for a couple of weeks. I enjoyed it. Johan Simpson, hi. What are your views on buying a car online, like through new car deals? Yeah, this whole world of buying a car online, like you would buy, like, I don't know, nappies off Takealot or something. Like it freaks me out a little bit. I don't know. I wanna go and sit in the car and touch everything and open the boot and sit in the back seat and take it for a drive. But it's catching on in the rest of the world. A couple of South African companies now retail directly online. BMW, for instance, one of them. Interestingly, the Volvo electric XC40 you can only buy online. It's fascinating. Although I'm sure if you went to a dealer, they'd help you with a demonstration. But look, it's not for me personally. I want to go and see the car. I want to drive it, I want to feel it. That's how I want to buy a car. But if I don't know. Maybe you're just buying a workhorse bakkie or something like that. You don't really care. You just look at the specs. You're like, the specs suit me, and you go for it. Maybe that's that's a win. Rian, I'm looking to buy an F-type convertible. Which model and year would you buy? So it depends on your personality. If you want to be noticed, you want people to hear you coming, buy the V8. It's loud. Makes a really cool noise. So there's that. Personally, I actually think the V6 is the better car. Not only does it make a really lovely noise, a different noise to the V8 obviously, but better on fuel. The V8's properly thirsty. And also there's less weight over the nose. So your weight on the nose is behind the axle. The engine's a bit shorter. It's a bit lighter as well. And so the car feels more agile. And I just really like that in a sports car. So I'd get the V6. It's also cheaper. So you save some money and go on holiday. Takalani, how's it? Dave, what do you think is the best car not sold in South Africa? That's one of the coolest questions I've ever got. What is the best car not sold in South Africa? Koenigsegg. Bang. Actually, no, you can buy Koenigseggs now. They just opened up. Daytona got the license. Yeah, Tesla. Justin, the director here, is just whispering Tesla in my ear. Yeah, Tesla's high up there, I mean, my sister lives in Norway. She actually works for Tesla. She bought a Tesla, and she's converted. She loves it. It's amazing. She bought the long range one. It has like 550 Ks on a charge. I think there's tons of electric cars we're not getting, and I think that's a bit of a pity. There's cool cars that, like, I only learned about the other day. There's a brand called Zeekr, which is owned by Geely, and they're loving them overseas, and it's like, I didn't even know it existed. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Yeah, and maybe I'll think about that a little bit more. But you know, sometimes also, wait, I have an answer. Wagons. Wagons are the coolest cars that are not sold in South Africa because everyone hates wagons in this country. Anti-station wagonism, hashtag must fall. Right, thoughts on Toyota Etios? The engine sounds spritey. The Etios is probably one of my least favorite cars that's ever existed. Don't buy an Etios. They just, every time I get in an Uber that's an Etios, like I almost want to become like religious again, just to give me some protection for the journey. Like just those cars, anyway, they don't sell them anymore, thank goodness. Same as a Avanza, same WhatsApp group. Hey Cherry, can you do a review for the Jeep Gladiator? Yeah, man, we had the Gladiator and I got a stomach bug the night before the shoot. I was up all night, I'll spare you the details. Yeah, the Gladiator, hey. That is like a slice of American apple pie. You know, it is as American as like flags with eagles on them and, you know, Trump supporters. I don't know, it's such a American thing. And if you get in it and you're like, cool, I'm going to drive an American car now, then it's cool, right? It's thirsty as hell, it's uncomfortable, it's badly designed ergonomically, but it's just so cool. People love it. I went to get some fish and chips down the road in the thing. People were staring at it like it had landed here from another planet or something. We had this bright blue one. It's a cool car. It's a really cool car. It attracts a lot of attention. If you want like the coolest bakkie in South Africa, that could be it. But keep in mind, yeah, I mean, we struggle to do better than like towing a caravan or something. 25 liters to the 100. Cool, where are we now? Amen, Mapushi, how's it? Hi, Chero, you rock. Keep flying the SA flag. Car reviewer flag. Thanks, man. Means a lot. Thank you. Mariska, hello. Hi, Chero, I need some advice. I'm looking at purchasing a brand new Kia Picanto, Suzuki Swift or Grand i10. Which one out of the three would you recommend? Actually just helped a very good friend of mine with this. She ended up buying the Picanto. She really liked it. Her requirements was that it had to be an auto. So she thought and I thought the Picanto was the best auto, the best deal. Look, I don't think you can actually go wrong with any of those. Just be careful. If you are going to buy an auto, the Atos, the Hyundai Atos is also really nice. The Atos and the Swift don't have proper autos. They have what are known as AMTs, automated manual transmission, which is the worst kind of gearbox you can buy. It is a really unpleasant driving experience. So just be aware of that. If you're going to buy manual, totally cool. I would say that if fuel is a big consideration, Suzuki's generally are the best when it comes to fuel consumption. Again, it's pretty much how you drive, but in my experience, Suzuki's are just very, very efficient. Something to look at if you're concerned about safety is if you compare the cars. We've got a great compare tool on our website. If you're concerned about safety, the Suzuki lacks a little bit in safety. You might find that the Grand i10 or the Kia Picanto, for instance, has more airbags or has stability control, for instance. So I don't know those sort of stats off the top of my head, but I suppose in order of preference, I would probably go Swift, Picanto, i10. That would be my personal choice. What new cars have you guys filmed? Justin, what did we film? That's blurry. Well, we're trying to make more films about our own cars. So those will be coming to the channel soon about the cars we own. New cars, Kia Sonet. I filmed a Kia Sonet. There we go. Very exciting. Tiggo 4 all the way. Sure. Mazda X5. I think you mean CX5. Is it good, reliable, powerful? Yeah, the CX5 is a great car. Probably one of the best cars in that segment. Very luxurious inside, great to drive. For me, the diesel would be the one to have, the 2.2, but it is the most expensive. The petrols are a little thirsty. The diesel is very powerful and very economical. So if you can stretch to the diesel, go for the diesel. Which is better, petrol or 2.2 diesel? Okay, there we go. Just answered the question. When are we getting a Jeep Grand Cherokee L review? So yeah, just launched. We haven't got our test car yet. I'm not sure. Maybe Ash or one of the guys is on the stream and they can tell me when our test car is coming. Mohammed Tayob, how's it, Mohammed? Is there a reason that Cherry and Haval are priced so well? Are you compromising on build quality? These brands have not been around for so long. I'm just wondering about this. So this is a great question which comes up quite often, and here are my thoughts. So the Chinese are the most efficient manufacturers of things in the whole world, right? There's a reason why pretty much everything is made in China, because they're very, very good at making things. So it stands to reason that they were going to eventually get very, very good at making cars in that country. You've got a lot of labor there. I'd rather not comment on labor rates in China because I don't know. But I think we can safely assume that there's sort of, less than labor rates in, say, Germany. So, that's one thing. Then something that someone pointed out to me the other day, which I never considered, and this is actually quite interesting. If you look at the way manufacturers in other countries make cars, right? A lot of the components in that car are made in China. So let's say the USB ports, right? BMW, for instance, doesn't make USB ports. They make cars, so they buy USB ports from a supplier. Those are almost certainly made in China. When those USB ports have to cross a border, they have to pay duties. And they have to be shipped, obviously. So now you've got shipping costs and you've got duty costs on these small components, and all of this stuff adds up. If you make your cars in China and everything you use comes from China, nothing has to go on a ship and nothing has to pay, you don't have to pay duties on anything. So your cost of components is extremely low. So it's like a trifecta. You're good at making things, there's lots of labor, and your cost of your components is super low. And I think that in my mind pretty much explains why Chinese cars are priced the way they are. But what we are seeing here, regardless, is a big shakeup of the industry. I don't think the industry has ever seen value like this in the market, and it is proving to be very disruptive. So it's a very interesting time in the market right now. Paul, how's it? I just got my license. As a new driver, what would you suggest under the 450,000 price range, considering the used 1 Series A3, A1, or go for something like the Kia Rio, etc.? I like the Tiggo as well. Yeah, look, this is a question we all ask ourselves. I mean, for 450K, you could get a Range Rover, I mean, go buy a Range Rover. It'll be rad. It'll be horrendously expensive to maintain, but you could buy a Range Rover. So, where do you draw the line? I think that the thing to remember is that buying a car is about risk, right? So buying a new car, the least risk possible. Buying a car on auction, the most risk possible. Buying from a private seller, buying from a used car dealer is somewhere in the middle in terms of risk. So, if you buy a used car, especially a used car that was expensive when it was sold, generally you're going to be in for some maintenance as soon as it's out of warranty. So keep that in mind. However, you might be able to find that price point cars which have a little bit of warranty left, then you can also extend. So in my mind, if you're going to, and I like used cars. I like used cars a lot, except I tend to buy cars from the 90s, so they're very used. But what you can do is you can protect yourself, right? So you can mitigate that risk. And there's loads of aftermarket warranties out there right now, aftermarket service plans. It's a booming industry. People are trying to get customers. I would say if you're going to get one of those cars, I personally wouldn't run one without a warranty. So just cover yourself. And then it's pretty much about personal taste. There's not necessarily any bad cars out there anymore. There's just cars which present different feelings, different way of driving, different options, and I would say buy to your taste. Cool. Zahir, how's it? Haval H6. This is just the Haval and Cherry show. Haval H6 versus VW Tiguan 1.4 R line. What would you suggest? Yeah, it's probably a question a lot of people are asking themselves, eh? I mean, you haven't detailed it, but I imagine you're looking at a new H6 or a used VW, because it's probably roughly the same price point. And again, it was like I was just saying right now, a bit more risk with a used car. probably out of your warranty sooner unless you want to pay a bit more and extend the warranty. So, you know, I think the number one question that I get asked about the Chinese brands is what's the reliability like? And it's like the one question I can't answer because they've only been on sale in South Africa since like last week Tuesday. So they haven't had time to get old. They haven't had time to have problems yet. But nothing's really come across my desk, so to speak. We haven't heard of any horror stories with you know, vowels or cherries or whatever the case is. But I suppose time will tell in that sense. My gut feel is that they're pretty well made cars, and I hope I'm proved right. I don't think you can go wrong with either of those cars. The H6 is probably a bit more car for your money in terms of literally the physical car. It's probably a bit larger than the Tiguan, so that's something to consider. Sedzani, how's it? I'm stuck between a used Opel Astra 1.4 and Golf 7 TSI. Which is the best to buy? Opel seems better spec for the price, but I don't know if there's any reliability issues. Yeah, man, it's a tough one also for me to answer. You know, the thing is, when it comes to used cars, so much of it is how did the previous owner treat the car, and did they stick to the servicing schedules? Was the car serviced properly? And these are things that it's difficult to tell, right? I mean, what you could do is you could try get the cars inspected. I think, you know, the workshop that I work with, they do that for customers where you can bring the car in, get it up on a lift, have a look underneath. That might be just a way to sort of, you know, allay your fears on either car. Opel, you know, they don't seem to have any major issues anymore in terms of like parts availability and stuff. I don't think they ever did. You know, once the brand got sold to Williams Hunt, I think. I mean, they're very much in the country. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Although it'll probably be easier to find parts for the Golf, you know, on balance. I like both those cars. I think that the Astra is probably a little, I would say, in my experience, little bit better to drive, sort of in terms of your cabin insulation and that sort of thing. But the Golf's probably a bit more dynamic. So if you enjoy an enthusiastic drive, you'll probably enjoy the Golf a little bit more. Did you see the Cherry Omodo 5 launching in SA? Yeah, it looks really good. We've got an article on the side about it. Kabir, hello. Looking to get a second-hand Ranger early next year. Any advice, things to look out for when dealing with second-hand? Yeah. I would just say, just try to get the car inspected, you know, have a good look at the service books, the history, pull the VIN on the car. So phone a dealer, Ford dealer, and ask them, run the VIN and get the service history of the car. You know, a friend of mine actually saved himself from buying a real lemon. He was looking at two Land Rover Freelanders. He ran the VIN on both. They had similar mileage, similar age, and the one had just had tons of warranty claims and parts replaced. And you could see one was just a lemon and one had just had no problems. So obviously he bought the one with no problems. So, you know, just cover yourself as much as you can, and do as much research as you can on the vehicle before you purchase. So Lears, how's it? We just got a brand new Volvo XC40 T4 R design. What is your take on it? Take it back. Terrible car. What were you thinking? The XC40 is one of my favorite cars on the road. Really is. I'd happily daily one. So congrats on your purchase. Kevin Smith, hi Chiro. Hi Kevin. Mzwandile, hey Chiro, how do you think the Volvo GT is going to be priced? The price is on our website. Go check it out. In light of the fuel prices, do you suppose it would be a fuel guzzler? No, it won't be worse than the normal Haval. It's got the same engine. Suggestion, can you put your videos of car reviews into the segments they compete in, like you mentioned just now? Yeah, that's quite a good idea. We can look into that. The problem is YouTube limits the amount of playlists we can put on the site, so on our page. So we would have to delete some playlists, which you probably don't want to do, but I'll try to think of a way around that. That's actually a cool suggestion. Thoughts on the Golf GTI TCR? Yeah, that's a cool car. It's a really nice daily. I really liked driving the TCR. It's like over 200 kilowatts through the front wheels. Mad. It's a really fun car to drive. Jason, M135i versus M235i. Personal taste, eh? I mean, same motor, same chassis. One's a hatchback, one's a coupe. I prefer the hatchback personally. I like a fast hatch, but yeah, up to you really. Unless it was in that period where the 3.5 swapped engine I don't know, the Beamer fans will probably tell me the engine codes, and I never know those things. But yeah, if it's the same engine for engine, then just, you know, personal preference, I suppose. Kevin, hi, about to buy a Suzuki Baleno GLX 2017 model. Your advice, got 60,000 Ks on the clock, getting extended service plan. Yeah, you know, I've owned a Suzuki in the past. I had an Uber car for my sins, and you know, that thing, I mean, it got flooded. It was in 5 accidents. It got repaired every time. And it still did like 300,000 Ks in a couple of years on the road as an Uber. And I think the only thing that broke was the front window switch. Like, that's it. I mean, they're just really robust cars. I wouldn't hesitate to buy an old Suzuki. In fact, actually, Hannes, the Oracle, he's our sort of head of content, and he actually bought a used Baleno for his family, for his parents. So, you know, that's in my opinion, a great indicator, a good indicator of a great car. I'm stuck between the Val Jolion and the P series. Wow, so many Haval questions. This is incredible. If anyone from Haval is watching, you're probably freaking getting the pom-poms out right now. Like, you know, this is the Haval show. Haval Jolion and the P series, which one would be a good buy? Huh? I'm the bakkie. It depends. I mean, do you carry sheep around, bags of manure? Buy the bakkie. If you carry people around, probably better in the Jolion. If you don't want to be stressed when parking, bakkies are pretty stressful. That's a big bakkie. That you know, where I live, driving a bakkie is like, I don't know, it's like trying to reverse a buffalo up a staircase. Like, it's really tricky where I live to park these things. I don't really like them very much. The nice thing about the P series actually is one of the only bakkies I know where if you lift up the back seat, the bottom of the back seat, it's got like a secure storage area under there for like laptops and things. And it's one of my bugbears when I drive bakkies. You got this like 6-meter long car that you can't leave anything in. You know, and it's when you park, like it drives me insane. Anyway, and if you do put stuff in the boot, it just gets dirty. Okay, Kolani, how's it? Ciro, I'm really considering purchasing a 2016 Land Rover Discovery 4. You are a brave person. That I test drove last week. Would you recommend it as 55,000 on the clock? Is in mint condition. Look, my heart says go for it. I freaking love Discovery 4s. I'd love to own one. They've been one of my favorite cars for a very long time. I know, you know, if as soon as it's out of warranty, whoo, yeah, it's a real party. Like, those parts are expensive. Very few people can work on them. Friend of mine owns one, and he curses it because of how expensive it is to maintain, but he absolutely loves it. He'll never sell it. And that's pretty much the summary of a Land Rover Discovery 4. But if you found one mint with that low mileage, I think you can buy with some confidence. Although it's a 2016, so it's definitely out of warranty. Just slap a good aftermarket warranty on that thing, the best one you can find. Sunil, how's it? Why buy a VW T-Cross or Polo? The Tiggo 4 has way more standard features and more power. Yeah, again, we were talking about how the Chinese brands have disrupted the market, and that's one classic case, you know. It's funny, though, why people don't buy cars. So a friend of mine was car shopping recently, and she didn't buy the Kia Sonet because it had shiny air vents, and she didn't buy the Cherry Tiggo 4 because it had a shiny grille. So it's, you know, it's really about personal taste. I mean, a car is a big purchase. You want to be happy about it, you know. So if you like the T-Cross, buy the T-Cross. If you like the Tiggo 4, buy the Tiggo 4. I mean, it's, you know, my job is to basically just show you where the value is, you know, and where there might be potential issues. And I don't see any real potential issues with those cars. Kevin, how's it? Currently driving KB240 and petrol consumption is crazy. Want to trade for SUV. Which is best? 2015 CR-V or 2015 X-Trail? I tow a camping trailer. Yeah, I think if you tow, look, I'm not a big towist. I don't tow things. I would say look at the specs of the cars and look at the torque figure, right? That torque is what matters when you're towing. The better torque figure there is going to give you indication of how the car's going to cope when you're towing. And generally diesels are better off, right? And you probably save some money when you're towing on fuel. So that would be my advice on that one. Wow, thanks for all the comments, guys. I'm really struggling to keep up here. What's your take on the G-Wagon electric? Yeah, bring it on, you know. G-Wagons are super cool, but they're hella thirsty. So if we can have a not thirsty G-Wagon, I'm in. Will the brand Tesla come to SA? I hope so. I really do hope so. But Elon Musk has commented on it. He says the taxes need to go before they would consider it. So again, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, the taxes have got to go. Why are cars so expensive in South Africa right now? Look, they're expensive everywhere, Rian. I mean, there was a video that came out the other day about average car prices in the US are going mad. So it's a couple of things. There's a bit of a shipping crunch at the moment, which is increasing the price of shipping. And there's of course the ongoing semiconductor chip crisis, which doesn't seem to be being resolved. People are working on it, but yeah, it's been very difficult for manufacturers to keep the supply of cars at steady levels. And then of course, when demand outstrips supply, you know, prices go up. That's pretty much what's happening. James, how's it? I'm now 46 years old. Flashy cars with low economy are no longer for me. I am trading in my Jeep Grand Cherokee. Just bought a 2012 Ford Figo, spray painted it deep red, and I love this go-kart. What a cool story. Yeah, man, enjoy it. I hope you take all those savings from your Jeep Grand Cherokee and, I don't know, go on holiday or something. Right, as I did that, as I touched the screen, I lost my place. I see Ashley Oldfield in there. How's it, Ashley? Glad to have you on the stream. Wow. There are so many comments. This is so cool, guys. Can I just say this is super cool? I'm really enjoying this. But sorry if I don't get to your comment. This is really challenging. I'm scrolling through tons of comments here. Ashley's in there helping out. Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate it. Okay, back where I was. VG, hi Ciro. Would it be interesting if car reviewers would do a 1 or 2 year after review to test how car aged and how the dealership support panned out during that period, especially for Haval and Cherry? Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's something that used to be a bit more common, that the magazines used to do. I'm not sure if the manufacturers have retreated a little bit from those long-term tests. I mean, they used to do like 12-month tests. But yeah, we're working on stuff like that. So hopefully in the near future, we'll have some cool content in that space. Exclusive aerials. Hi Ciro, what is the best value double cab 4x4 diesel 2 liter in 2022 now that the new Isuzu D-Max is out? So I'm going to direct you to some of our content. We have a massive bakkie comparison on the site. It's in text and in video. It should help you. There's 6 bakkies in that comparison. The best value, well, the lowest price bakkie, as far as I'm aware, is the GWM-P series. No, it's not. It's Mahindra Scorpio, actually, or the Mahindra bakkie. Then probably the P series, and then probably the rest of the establishment. Hang on, sip of tea. Oh, my mouth's going dry here. I'm talking so much. Look, I spent some time in the P series. I would take a chance on a bakkie like that, to be honest. Amazingly spec, beautiful interior, looks good. I mean, I saw there's someone in my building who had a silver one, and then he bought another silver one, like identical. He now has 2. You know, if you can find one, I mean, they're in demand as well. The Mahindra, you know, the Mahindra is a bit of an agricultural experience. I mean, it's a bit rougher to drive. You know, it's not as luxurious as, say, I don't know, Ford Ranger or something. But you know, it's like half the price, and Mahindras just have amazing reputation for reliability. They're really robust cars. The thing will probably outlive you, you know, if you look after it. So, and And I suppose the other question you have to ask yourself is, do you buy used or do you buy new as well, you know? So it's tricky. The bakkie debate's a really tricky one at the moment. There's so much to choose from. I would say if it's going to be a work vehicle, just make sure you got the best backup, you know, roadside assistance, service plan and warranty. You know, I would shop for the bakkies like that and then sort of try and narrow down your choice from there. The Isuzu is nice. It's really nice, actually. Bit of a grumbly engine compared to the rest, but, you know, people seem to like that about Isuzus, actually. Sekansi. Hi, Ciro. The Val H6 price seems to be going up quite rapidly, and heard it might be going up now again 1st of September. What do you think drives the price up? Look, it could be shipping costs. It could be supply constraints. It also just could be that Val knows they can charge more now because everyone wants them. You know, it's pretty straightforward supply and demand. I think. You know, there might be legitimate economic reasons for it, or it might just be pricing strategy from the company where you know, this actually happens a lot in the world of wine, and it really annoys me because like a great wine will come out and they'll price it aggressively, and then as soon as everyone starts drinking it, the price goes up by like 50%. Trust me to bring wine into a conversation about cars, but yeah, I think that's pretty much what's happening. Nelson, Ford Everest and Toyota Fortuner, which one is the best? Can help you with that. We've got a video on our website where I drive both back to back and tell you which one is best. In summary, the Fortuner is a Hilux underneath, pretty much unbreakable. Well, I mean, great reputation for reliability. Let's rather put it that way. The Everest for me though is a better SUV. The Fortuner's cramped inside. It's always bothered me a bit how cramped that cabin is. I don't know why. It doesn't look small on the outside, it's just cramped on the inside. I'd prefer to drive an Everest. Your ownership experience though, however, might be just a bit more hassle-free in the Toyota. So expecting my phone to ring. Oh look, it's the Ford people. Ciro, you're never coming on a launch again. When will the new Ford Ranger Raptor be available to buy? Very soon. I think they're launching it next month or the month after. Good afternoon. Hi, Basanyo. Will Subaru bring the Outback with the turbo to South Africa? Doubted. Yeah, we've got a great video on the Outback as well. I feel like I say that a lot. We have a video on this car. We have a video on that car. Randy, hey Ciro, I hope you're good. I own a BMW 2014 F20 116. See, BMW guys, love their codes. And I have no idea what you're talking about. Like my knowledge stops at like E39. After that, it's a blur. F20, G80, P70. Anyway, send me a picture. It's been parked for 8 months and my battery is dead. Everything else works. What precautions should I take when getting back on the road? Just get a new battery. Like, it's amazing how many problems can be solved with a new battery. Seriously, it's going to cost you like 1,500 bucks or whatever the case is. Just go to the shop, buy a new battery, put it in. Your life will be infinitely better. Second-hand Ford Ranger buying advice. We're actually trying to do we're trying to do something with Ford where they get us they want to try to get us an old Ranger so we can actually drive and assess it. You know, the problem with this is, and maybe I was being a bit facetious earlier, but the problem with these reliability debates is there is no hard and fast data on reliability. We, I think, did a decent job of it when we had our consumer awards, which are coming back, and we did this ownership survey, and you know, brands like Toyota, Suzuki, Honda, in terms of reliability, in terms of our data, they outperformed brands like Audi, BMW, Ford, Renault, Peugeot, etc., etc. That's the data we had, right? But outside of that, there is no data. There's what I always say, that the cars get their reputation from discussions around the braai, you know, and that's not a particularly useful sort of data set to work on. So, you know, I think that when it comes to used cars, you just want to take your time, although it's a bit annoying because sometimes you take your time and the car you want goes, but you just really want to research that car as best as you can. Like I was saying to one of the listeners earlier, pull the VIN, pull the service reports, try and get the car inspected if you can. You learn so much about cars when you get under them. It's incredible. I had this experience recently with my M5. In fact, I kind of wish I hadn't got under it. But anyway, just try and mitigate the risk. There's always risk with secondhand cars, and you might find that you buy a Toyota Hilux and it's got problems, and you buy a Ford Ranger, it's got no problems, and vice versa. So, it's very difficult to answer those sorts of questions. But I think it's more about how you buy the car. I think that's really, really important when it comes to secondhand car shopping. What's your view? Oh no, I've got my place. Midgley, when is the new Nissan Qashqai coming to SA? Good question. Tweet Nissan and ask them, because it's been coming forever. And they should have brought it here like 2 years ago. It's a good car. Prashen, best used automatic car under 300,000 Rand. Range Rover Vogue. That's what I would buy. No, it's very difficult to answer these questions, because you literally can buy a Range Rover for 250,000 Rand, which I'm seriously considering it, because I'm an idiot and I love these old big luxury cars. But you need to give me, like, which segment you're buying in. I don't know. Do you have 6 kids? Do you mountain bike? Give me a bit more info. What's your view on the Ranger single turbo versus bi-turbo? Is the single turbo good enough, or do you absolutely need the bi-turbo for road trips? The bi-turbo is just nice and torquey, so if you tow, you probably want the bi-turbo. I think also the bi-turbo is a bit more efficient, so that's something to consider. But if you check our site for the figures, then that should come up. Will F1 come to Cape Town? No. I wish it was different. I wish I had a different answer for you. But it's probably coming to Kyalami, which is closer than, say, Belgium from Cape Town. So, if you live down here, we're all going to be going up to Kyalami. I'll see you there. Ashley Oldfield. Oh, he's not talking to me. Okay. Thanks, Ash. Alpha. Hello, Chira. I'm stuck on Toyota and VW being good, strong cars. What other makes can you recommend? Thank you for doing this. Yeah. Interesting point there, because VW's got quite a lot of issues. Look, not all VWs, but a good friend of mine, he's a mechanic. He specializes in VW and Audi. They do a lot of Polos, like a lot. But there are a lot of Polos on the road. So, it kind of comes with the territory. If you sell a lot of cars, potentially the potential for problems goes up. What other makes can you recommend? Look, going back to that consumer survey that we had, that we ran at Cars Awards time, the best performing brands for reliability were Honda, Toyota, and Suzuki. They were like top 3, right? The worst performing brands on our survey were, let me not speak under correction, because I don't want to misrepresent any of the brands, but those are kind of your best performers when it comes to reliability, at least according to the data that we have. OPM, hello Cars.co.za. I'd like to hear your opinion on the Corolla Cross XS non-hybrid. How thirsty is it? I haven't driven it, but I am told it is a bit thirsty. So maybe go down to a dealership, take it for a little test drive. Those old NA engines, especially, they can be thirsty, especially on the Highveld, because on the Highveld you lose power, so you have to push push the car a bit more, use a bit more throttle, and they tend to be a bit thirstier. So keep that in mind. What happened to the Mazda MX-5? Will the new model come to SA? I hope so. Such a cool car. They never really sold too well here. And I own an MX-5. I love the thing, but South Africans never really took to the new one as much as, say, the old one. And the new one was actually great. The ND, I think it's called. Oh, see, I know Mazda codes. Hypocritical. Used Kia Sorento Coupe 1.6 TGDI, reliability as an everyday car. Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough, man. I can't. Takalani, I'm sorry, man. It's just an almost impossible question to answer. I have no information on that. So again, it's like, you know, around what gets said around the braai. Like I was saying, just do your research on the car. It's, you know, it's more about how you buy the car, I think, than the specific car. When is the Toyota Yaris Cross coming to SA? I don't know, and I don't think it will come. Sorry, man. Mitun, is the Toyota Corolla Cross hybrid worth considering as a fuel-efficient vehicle when considering the break even between the two technologies being 2 years? It might be a bit better than 2 years, depending on which one you buy. But yeah, I lived with the Corolla Cross hybrid for 4 weeks. I averaged between 5.4 and 5.6 liters to 100 without even really trying. On one trip, they were very good in urban scenarios, in urban settings. On one trip from home to the office, I went through town and it was very stop-start. And the car averaged 3.8 liters to the 100, which is incredible. Where the hybrid doesn't do so well is on highways. So if you do a lot of highway driving, the fuel consumption suffers a little bit, but at the same time, it's still really good. I mean, I drove to Clanwilliam and back, like 400k drive, and it still averaged 5.6. So, you know, it's an impressive car. It really is. Luendran, test drove a 2020 RAV4 CVT, found it noisy. Would you recommend a brand new Corolla Cross 1.8 XS? Yeah, that 2020 RAV4, I remember driving it, and I remember thinking it did feel a bit strained. It's that combination of a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder and the CVT box. And, you know, CVTs are fine if you're not in a hurry and you drive super conservatively. But if you push them, they obviously tend to drone. Just check though, I think the 1.8 XS might also have a CVT, or does it have a torque converter auto? I'm actually not sure. You might have to ask a dealer about that, or maybe someone on the stream can help. But yeah, you might just be getting the same sort of experience in the Corolla Cross XS. Gavaza, is it advisable to sell a problem-free low-kilometer Ford Ranger for a Hilux 2.8, 2.4 GD6? Sure, that's a tough one, man. I don't know. If a car is giving you no problems, personally, I'd hang on to it. You got yourself a good one, I would say. Thank you for the great program and for answering my question. Sure, Rian, thank you for joining. Good day from Gift. How's it? Is it a good idea to buy a Golf GTI second-hand? Sip of tea. With 90,000 on the clock as your first car? If yes, kindly advise on what to repair or buy in terms of parts. Sure, I'm flattered that you think I know so much about Golf GTIs in detail. No, what you can do, right? Give a VW dealership a call or visit one. Try get some time with the service manager if you can, or one of the service consultants. Ask them if they can give you the service plan for the car. So, you know, they might recommend, I don't know, maybe it has a timing belt instead of a chain, and they'll tell you the belt needs to be done at X kilometers. So you'll have an idea of what's coming up in the car's future. Because at 90,000, you're about to be out of warranty, I think. Yeah, you should be. So that's a cool way to understand what you're in for. Sure, we're ready at 2 o'clock, eh? Wonder if we should keep going. Let me see how many more questions we have here. Holy moly. I'm never going to get through this, guys. I'm so sorry. I tried. I really tried. But this has been great. You know, I really enjoyed this. I hope you understand. I'm really sorry that I can't get through everything. I'm only one person. If you want, you can try tweet at me. I'll try to get back to you, as many of you as I can. There's only so much time in a day, and I actually have to do my other job, which is making videos for you guys to watch. So yeah, I think I'm going to check out here. We're going to try keep these to an hour. Maybe a way we can do it is you can send your questions ahead of time. So we've got an email address, YouTubeadmin at Cars.co.za, YouTubeadmin, one word, at Cars.co.za. Maybe get your questions in early, and I'll start with your questions, because I feel really bad that a lot of people have asked me questions. I'm just not going to get to them. I'm so sorry. But I see my colleagues are in the chat here. Hannes, thanks very much. Ashley, thanks for trying to answer some of the guys' questions. We're going to have to tag team this, guys. Cars.co.za employees, we're going to have to like get in here on the as a team and try to help everyone, because there's just so many questions to get through. So thank you very much, everyone. I now have a sore throat from talking so much. I tried really hard to get through as many questions as I can. I hope I managed to help some of you. Thank you very, very much for joining. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks to the great team I have at Cars.co.za and Antonio from Streamlab, there we go, who's helped us out with the stream. Thank you very, very much. I have been Ciro De Siena and probably will continue to be Ciro De Siena for the foreseeable future. So thanks very much for joining, and we will see you same time, same place next week.
Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za.